students have never seen. We can say with the Orinoco flow. We can say, sail away, sail away, sail. We can steer, we can kneel, we rock, we can sail. We can sigh, say goodbye,
Very nice to see the distinguished professor.
Good morning, Lydia. How are you?
Fine, thank you. Good to be back.
And thank you for joining us today.
No, it's very exciting. So
Yes, it was amazing. I was saying to my colleagues this morning, you know, these participants have managed to do change projects and the online course despite this COVID-19 challenges across the region. You know, it's fantastic. So it's a special.
No, it's fantastic. It's really a sign of hope.
Yes, it is. And it's so generative, you know, and what I'm sure Charles can show you at one point, but just the way people are posting their change projects on the WhatsApp groups, and it's amazing, actually. There's some sort of social movement in it that's quite exciting, which is nice.
Yes, it is indeed. And congratulations also to the teachers and the professors. That's
and
also part. Sustainability starts with teachers. So,
yeah. Yes.
So you
Morning,
are
Charles.
true to the program.
Yeah. Morning, Shepherd.
Hi, good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Hayla. How are you?
Good, and you, Shepherd?
Good morning. Good morning, Director.
Good morning, how are you?
I'm doing fine, thank you.
Nice to have you back.
Thank you.
Very nice.
So I've got my outfit on today, Charles.
I wish I brought mine, I forgot.
I hope your readers remember those. Anyway, I've got mine on. Just
That's good. Real graduation ceremony.
I need to bring mine from Mozambique because usually I only have to wear the gowns when I'm in Mozambique. So I leave that with my mom.
And they have such funny, we have got these really funny hats at Rhodes University. I see we've got participants coming in already. So Previn, perhaps you can just play the music and we'll wait now for.
Say the way it should be. Moonlight hold the sun will come. Angel tears below a tree. You talk on the break of morning as you get in your own. And crimson, the key of heaven, one of cardinal like a shoe.
Antonio, can we test translation? Just a sound check. Antonio, are you with us? Morning, Antonio. Morning, Antonio. Can we test it? Oh, very good. Okay, so you're on the Portuguese channel. Yes. Okay, wonderful.
Good.
Okay, great. Okay. Could you welcome our participants for us in Portuguese? Wonderful. Thank you so much, Antonio. To all our participants, as you know, you can choose interpretation and Portuguese to listen to the session in Portuguese.
Thank you, Previn. I think, and thank you, Antonio, for just testing. Maybe we can just let the music run for a little bit more, Previn, while we wait for some more of our participants to join.
Yes, we'll do.
Hallelujah.
morning, everybody. And thank you very much, Previn, for the lovely music that you open every day with. It gives us a good feeling of coming to these webinars when we have this lovely music in the background. It gives me a very great pleasure to welcome everybody to the platform today. We are still being joined by participants, and we've heard very sadly from some of our colleagues in Eswatini that they're having electricity problems. So we do hope that they will be able to join us. But for those that are able to join, a very big welcome to all of you. This is a very exciting day. We are having our second graduation ceremony for this program, and we are very excited to be able to offer this graduation ceremony today with 106 graduates that will be receiving individual certificates for their work on the Sustainability Starts with Teachers course. And this is an extra special achievement because this achievement has been made during the COVID-19 pandemic. Many of us learning online courses for the first time. Firstly, how to design and develop and offer them, and secondly, how to participate in them and how to complete them. And thirdly, this group has not only completed the online course, but have also produced the most incredible change projects. So today we won't focus on the change projects. We will be doing that in October, and we will also be producing a report on all of the different change projects that have been developing in the SADC region. So it's a very special day for me to be here to join you for this graduation. And I also have the honor and the privilege of introducing our Dean, Professor Jurita Rosenberg, and she will then come onto the platform to join me now. Professor Jurita Rosenberg is very well known in the SADC region for her work in environment and sustainability education. She, in fact, was the person who started these courses way back in 1990, 1991, 1992, when she took up the first ever chair of environment and sustainability education on the African continent. And one of the things that Jurita did with her vision was she started a master's degree program in environment and sustainability education. And at the same time, she started a participatory certificate course program for environmental education and sustainability in the SADC region. In 1995, I think it was, Jurita raised funding, international funding, to start an international course for the Southern African region, and that opened up the SADC International Certificate Course in Environment and Sustainability Education. And it is that which gave us the legacy that we could build the Sustainability Starts with Teachers course on. So Jurita, we're extremely privileged and very happy to have you with us here today to preside over this graduation in your current role as the Dean of the Faculty of Education at Rhodes University. We're also very happy that we've been joined by the new director of the UNESCO office. I will ask Jurita to give her a very big welcome on behalf of Rhodes University as our key partner. And then, of course, just welcome to everybody else who's joined us today. So over to you, Jurita. I'm now going to stop talking because I do have I've just come from the dentist. So over to you, Jurita.
Thank you very much, Hayla. Good morning, colleagues. It's absolutely wonderful to join you on this, what is a beautiful day at Rhodes University in South Africa. And of course, it's a very auspicious day for all of you on the platform today, this wonderful graduation celebration. So a very, very special welcome for the first time as Director of UNESCO Rosa to Professor Lydia Brito. Professor Brito is, we are so glad and so excited to see you in this position, Professor Brito. We colleagues, we are here blessed with a friend of sustainability, a friend of higher education, a friend of education for sustainable development. Professor Brito has started out in the forestry industry, I believe. She was the Deputy Vice Chancellor for Eduardo Mondlane University in Mozambique, one of the most auspicious universities on our continent. And we're very proud that an African woman was that Deputy Vice Chancellor. And you then went on to become the Minister of Science and Technology in Mozambique. And I'm sure you have done a lot for environment and sustainability in those positions. But we are so grateful that you have joined UNESCO Rosa as the director, and we welcome you and thank you for joining us today as our very, very special guest. Colleagues, we have other very special guests. We have Julia Heiss from UNESCO Rosa as well, Charles Chikunda from UNESCO Rosa. As you know, Charles is holding the program together with Professor Lotz, our distinguished Professor Heila Lotz-Sisitko from Rhodes University. So as Heila has introduced me, I have been involved with programs in environment and sustainability education for close on 30 years now, if not 35 years. And what is very special about the position that I was appointed to is that it was Africa's first chair in environment and sustainability education. In the days when it was a relatively new field, not just on the continent, but worldwide. It was the early 1990s was a very vibrant period. The UN had just held in 1992 its first summit, the World Summit on Environment and Development in Brazil. And we were very enthused by this development. It doesn't mean that there wasn't environmental education on the African continent before. I was so privileged to visit a university in Kenya, Nairobi, where there were environmental education master's dissertations from the 1980s. So since the 1980s, people have been studying and developing environmental education on this continent. But when I was appointed into the chair of environment and sustainability education in the early 90s, it became very apparent to us that short courses were needed, certificate courses were needed to give recognition to the practice that was happening on the ground and to build the field. In fact, my mission, my terms of reference as a chair was to build a cadre of environmental educators in the region. And that mission remains to this day. To this day, it is important that we give recognition to the practitioners on the ground for the environment and sustainability education work that they're doing. And we bring the new practitioners and scholars into the field. So we started with this course in 1995, as Heila mentioned, and since then have actually never stopped. And throughout, the focus has been on three key elements: a course-activated learning network with change projects. So people come on a course, but that's not the end. The learning continues as the network who met each other on the course continues to grow after the course. And I hope that all of you who are graduating today will feel that you have become part of a network that will continue growing through your professional life. And the change project, so that what we learn is actually applied in whatever context we're working in, and it makes a difference, it makes a change. And perhaps because of those three ingredients, perhaps because of the wonderful enthusiasm and capabilities of our practitioners and scholars on the African continent, we have been very successful with these programs. We have been successful in that for the university, it was very significant that graduates from our certificate courses have moved into our master's and our PhD programs. That is, of course, very important to the university. Important in the field is where our alumni have ended up And I want to recognize our alumni network, who many members are here today as well. And I want to thank them. I'm not going to name them in person individually because it's a growing network. And but they are dotted in the continent and in fact globally in important environmental NGOs that are making a contribution to the field. I'm thinking of WWF, CEDA, Swedest, and of course now the UN and UNESCO as well. Our alumni from our courses can be found in higher education in countries such as Eswatini, Botswana, Uganda, Namibia, Lesotho, too many countries to mention. Go to a university in those countries and you'll find an alumnus of this course-activated learning network, where of course they are playing a very important leadership role. And of course, also the leadership roles that are played by our alumni in government. Angola, Malawi, South Africa, you will find alumni from this network playing very important roles, setting policy, enabling policy, and supporting the action on the ground. And you will find our alumni in the schools, the teachers' colleges, and the NGOs around the region and the continent, where they are practically doing environment and sustainability education, where their change projects and their teaching is making a difference. So, and I really want to recognize Zimbabwe, South Africa, Zambia, for the very active teachers and teacher educators in those countries. You're really making a difference. You're making us proud. You're keeping the field alive and growing it. We thank you for this work that you are doing, and we are thanking our sponsors and our support, such as the support that UNESCO Rosa is now providing, the very important leadership that you are providing. It's so important for the practitioners on the ground to know that there is now, 35 years later, very significant high-level recognition of the importance of this field, of supporting not only SDG 4, but all other SDGs. So congratulations. I'll read out the names of those who are receiving their certificates today a bit later. But at this point, congratulations and thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you so much, Yurita. And if I could now ask Lydia if she would like to join us and offer her opening words. Thank you, Lydia.
Thank you very much, and good morning to everybody in this very happy occasion. No, graduations are always a moment of celebration, a moment of commitment, a moment of reflection also, what the future brings to us after this important milestone in our professional lives. Allow me to start by recognizing and acknowledging the presence of Professor Eurita Rosenberg, the Dean of Education in the Faculty of Education from Rhodes University. Dear Professor Rosenberg, your CV clearly shows your commitment to sustainability around the world and in particular in our region. Your commitment to that is also very much part of the result of this course and the fact that we have 106 graduates that went through very difficult and challenging situations, but they did it. And I think you and your team and clearly your university as a whole, by putting sustainability at the core of what you do, it's really also the reason why ROSA, our UNESCO office for Southern Africa, is also very honored and happy to count with Rhodes University, the Faculty of Education, with you and all your team, really in continuing the building, like you said, of a critical mass that sees sustainability as the core for development, but also the need to create the networks that allow us to learn constantly, to really share good and bad practices, and more than anything, igniting in a much larger population this human need of living in harmony with the environment. I think that's also something that this course and all what you are doing really brings about, is that really igniting that part of us human that are part of a much bigger community that is our planetary ecosystems, and we are just one small part of that. Distinguished Professor Eila Lotz Sisitika, Eila, I have no words to really thank you and to congratulate you and the team of teachers and mentors for this huge achievement today. Sustainability starts with teachers, and I think you and all the teachers and experts and mentors that were involved in this course are a good example of that. That really the role that you play in making sure that the graduates today at support and really all the space to really face an online course and the implementation of changing programs, projects in very difficult situations. So you are also very much to be congratulated, as well as the reference group members that are following up and supporting us. And of course, all the Rhodes University and UNESCO Rosa teams. Those two teams are becoming one team. And the fact that is possible, it's also making for these teams to make the impossible. So really a word of thanks also to Rhodes University and UNESCO Rosa teams for their continuing engagement in this. Of course, esteemed SST participants, but most importantly, really distinguished graduates of this 2021 course. I think you are the center of this ceremony, and we welcome you very warmly. It's really very good to be back, Professor Rosenberg, to my region, and to really be back to the education sector and the higher education sector that is so much part of my previous life, and the fact that I'm back home. And definitely it's very important, and I'm very honored and privileged that in just a week time I have been twice with you in this course, because I really think that SST is really a fundamental building stone to change in our region towards a sustainable development, and also a more inclusive development for all. Distinguished participants, allow me on behalf of UNESCO Rosa to congratulate the classes of 2020 and 2021 for their tenacity, commitment, and resilience in completing this course in spite of the challenges encountered. You graduates are indeed a shining example to show that learning never stops, even in times of serious challenges. Whoever imagined that you can successfully complete a course and implement change projects in times of COVID-19? You are really that example, and really kindly be reminded that the completion of the course is not the end, as Professor Rosberg mentioned, is not the end of the program, but the beginning really of a lifetime journey. As the name applies, sustainability starts with teachers. This assumes that it continues until everyone in your sphere of influence is really exposed to ESD. So now you are more capable to really bring this knowledge to a much larger community. And I think that ability that you have acquired, that skills, the knowledge, the attitude to really spread ESD to a much larger community it's also very much related to your ability to continuous learning from those interactions and from building even new knowledge and new approach to ESD. We really encourage, therefore, you to continue the work of transforming your community through education and by passing your knowledge and skills for transformation to the young professionals joining the teaching profession, as well as others in your community. I also want to highlight that the ESST initiative has become an important piece of the ESD for 2030 country initiatives in your countries and the new countries that are coming to the online course. Next week, we are going to present the draft SADC ESD strategy framework to the joint meeting of SADC Ministers of Education and Training and Science and Technology, precisely next week in Malawi, in Lilongwe. We are really hoping that our ministers will adopt this strategy, and really this will open up space for all of us, in particular UNESCO, because it's part of our work, to really support the countries to come up with their national ESD strategies. I'm seeing you, the graduates of this SST initiative, playing a very important role in working towards those national strategies as well as implementing them. So you are also part of building in your own country policies, instruments, approaches that really promote cross-wide the concepts of sustainability and clearly in the education sector to have those instruments to permeate sustainability throughout the education systems country-wise will be indeed a huge impact of also this program. So we count on you to support your governments also in developing these national strategies. We are also hope and encourage those who are still doing the course to really do your best. And please do share experiences with these graduates. How could you do that? What helped you to make sure that you could complete the course, that you could at the same time implement the transformation projects and get inspired from their experience and example to really make the very best of this opportunity. And I'm talking in particular to the participants from Angola and Mozambique that are just starting this online course. So I'm sure and another graduation will be done in October, and we are really hoping to then be congratulating you in that occasion. Let also, as a final word, and I really want to recognize the support that we have been having from SIDA. SIDA have been providing the funding for this course, and really the fact that they had the flexibility to let us move from face-to-face courses to this huge online course. I think the COVID-19 pandemic has shown us that as we bring more flexibility and discover new ways of delivering learning opportunities, it's really something that will last for us, because what we saw is that we could really reach a much bigger audience of teachers by doing this course online, although we know there are challenges on online learning. But we are, again, building on that, as Professor Sisitika mentioned, that it was also a learning experience from the professors and the mentors of this course to really build an online course that makes sense. And therefore, again, really through you, Professor Rosenberg, and through you, distinguished Professor Sisitika, really my utmost gratitude to Rhodes University for all the hard work that you have put in this course and for the continuous support to make sure that no one is left behind. Once you are part of the online course, you are there to support, you are there to mentor, you are there to energize and to inspire, and therefore really a word of gratitude and of respect for all what you have been doing at this moment. Also the Swedish Institute for Education for Sustainable Development. I see that Dr. Shepherd Orange is also with us today. Really, your commitment, your tools, your knowledge has also been of utmost support to what we are doing here. And really at the national level, I also want to recognize the national ministries of education and national teacher education and technical and vocational education institutions for supporting and actively participating in the program. We need that political commitment from the governments, and we need that commitment from the education institutions, in particular those ones that are involved in teacher training, because that means that they really do believe in what we are doing, and they will support also their professionals that are following the course and implementing the programs and the projects. And that is, of course, quite important. Again, what a pleasure to be in this graduation. It's always a happy moment. And to you graduates, the journey is starting, and I would even put it in plural. The journeys are just starting, and please do count on us to be part of that journeys, and the best on the travels and the walks that you are going to have after this graduation. Thank you very much to all. What a pleasure.
Thank you so much, Professor Brito. It's just wonderful to have you with us, and such a lovely, warm welcome to all of our participants, and congratulations to them also for the work they've been doing. I think without losing further time, I'm going to ask Dr. Charles Chikunda, who I think all of us know very well. He's really the anchor of this program in the UNESCO Orozo office, and has been so supportive of everybody. I think, Professor Brito, you have one of the best teachers in your office there with Dr. Charles Chikunda. So, Charles, I'm handing over to you now to take us through the highlights of the course, give us an update of the outcome so far, and then we will, after that, ask some of our reference group members to just give us very short reflections, and then we'll move over to the handing over of the announcement of the certificates from our dean. So over to you, Charles.
Thank you very much, Ayla. Prevent, confirm, can you hear me and see my slides?
Yeah, you're loud and clear, Charles, and the slides are clear.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much, Ayla, and thank you so much, Lydia, for those opening remarks, and thank you so much, Rita, for all the work that you've put into this. And this is part of remember, the product of your hard work over the years. So let me quickly take you through the overview of the course and maybe share the numbers, what we've done so far, and some highlights from the reference group members, as Ayla said. My slide will not move. Yes. So a special welcome to the graduates. This has been a long journey. Remember when we started in those startup workshops to this very day, and today we are here to recognize everyone's effort in providing ESD leadership and practice in Southern Africa. And we're focusing mainly on two classes, that of 2020 and 2021. And as you know, we are contributing to SDG 4 Target 47. I was told by people that this is the most difficult of all targets because it's very difficult to measure. But with your support and with your work, we are looking at this new transformational vision for educational quality with ESD teacher education practice. So this is why we say sustainability starts with teachers, and change projects are contributing to the ESD to the SDG 4, target 4.7. A quick reminder of what you've gone through and what really makes up this course. As you all know, and those who are listening from Angola and Mozambique, this is the 20th time maybe that you are seeing this framework. So this program is based on this action learning framework, and it is supported by 5 modules, but I've got 7 booklets there. 2 of them are introductory, just to introduce people to the course. And we pay special attention to those epistemic learning steps. Number 1, reviewing context. Your change project should be situated in a context. And number 2, identifying relevant content on SDGs and critical issues in your countries. Then using formative learning, then planning and taking alternative assessment. It's a brilliant presentation from 2 people who are leading assessment for significant learning, and I think we are going to really work on that and make it a SADC thing. Then monitoring and evaluation. So this is the journey that you've traveled for you to be here today. And let me share with you what we've been doing over the years. As we all know, we started in 2019 with 3 countries, Botswana, Namibia, and Zimbabwe, and these participants fully completed. And in 2021, we moved to Lesotho, South Africa, and Zambia. And I think it's nice to say that we now have 1 full certificate so far, with still many more people, participants complete their online course and implementing their institutional change project, because this is the requirement for a graduation for you to be awarded a certificate. So I'm hoping in October 2022, we'll also have another cohort graduating. So in the class of 2021, we have increasing number of people who are completing the course as well as implementing their change project. And as I said, more of these will also graduate in 2022. We're expecting more from Tanzania and more from Malawi to graduate in this cohort. We're in the very few remaining in Eswatini, because this time Eswatini has really given us quite a number of graduates. Then in 2022, Mozambique and Angola are not forgotten. We also have your graduation maybe sometime in February. But I want to share with people in the room that so far we have 67 participants from Angola. We have registered the online course, and 70 from Mozambique. And us, that's something that we really appreciate, because at the beginning we had very few participants, but now we are so happy. The number of registered participants has just increased. So 2019, the 3 countries, the class of 2019, Botswana, Namibia, and Zimbabwe. Again, I want to share with you that we expected 25 people to graduate, but ended up with 31. Isn't that beautiful? So we have all in all, we have all in all 221 participants from the 3 countries in communities of practice. So what happens is, even if 1 person comes to the course, a given institution, many more people join. This one as a physical course will join in terms of implementing the change project. For example, you can see that in Botswana, 7 attended the roads course. This was a physical course before COVID, but we had 39 participants attending in the communities of practice. Similarly, in Namibia, we had 5 people attending the course, but at the end, we had 20 participants and 8 change projects in communities of practice. Zimbabwe had a larger number, the largest number in this cohort, with 16 change projects, but with 162 participants in 16 change projects across the country. So these numbers are very good for us, and as we report on them, we feel proud of the work that has been done across the countries. In the class of 2020, where we had Lesotho, South Africa, and Zambia, the pattern is more or less the same. The original intention, expectation was maybe we're going to have 25 people graduating, but now we've already reached 41. And this is the beauty of online courses. You have more people joining, and you can see from the numbers, we have 165 participants in 38 communities of practice. And 38 ESD change projects that way. Some of them have been finished. This is why we have people graduating today. Some will continue and they will graduate in October. In class of 2021, where we have Eswatini, Malawi, and Tanzania, we have more than 300 people who registered for the course. This is why we're having these big numbers coming, and we're so proud of that. In Eswatini, we've got 38 who have completed their online course, Malawi 19, in Tanzania 8. As I said, many more people are still being supported to complete their online course, as well as to implement their change project. I want to thank Rhodes University. They have really dispatched a team to these countries to physically support people, participants with their change project, with their online course. So this is something that we are very proud of. Rhodes is doing that wonderful work. So already today from this class, we're going to have 65 graduating. So for these, we've got over 120 ESD change projects initiated, and approximately 450 plus teacher educators and TVET educators engaged in this SST program in 65 institutions. And many more are coming in October and in February, as I said, next year, where we're expecting for next year Mozambique and Angola to be shining. So we've got 137 so far, Rhodes University UNESCO certificates of competence in ESD. This includes the certificate that we awarded in the last graduation. So we still have work happening in Eswatini, Malawi, and Tanzania. And the work has just started in Angola, in Mozambique. This is the full picture that we have now. And there's, as I said before, mechanism is in place to really support those in Eswatini, Malawi, and Tanzania, so that no one is left behind, as Lydia said in the opening remarks. We want to make sure that whoever is joining this course will proceed to finish the course, as well as implement the change project. This is the most important. We want to see the transformation in the institution. So, colleagues, this is a happy day. We are encouraging those who are still completing their online course to do so with pride and to work on your change project with that energy. Extra support is coming away, coming from us at UNESCO ROSA and from Rhodes University, as I said earlier on. Lydia mentioned that we are drafting with you the regional strategic framework for ESD in the SADC region, and next week this will be presented to the ministers. We hope the ministers are going to adopt that. Then it will become a regional framework to sort of energize countries to come up with their own national ESD strategies. So you will be part and parcel of all this. This is why Lydia said at the beginning, this is the beginning of many journeys. If you thought maybe your journey is only to do transformation for your institution, we are also expecting you to participate at national level and at regional level to say we don't have an ESD strategy Eswatini. We would expect the SST participants to be forefront to come up with that required ESD strategy. It came up a lot in our baseline survey that most countries would want to have these ESD strategies. So let me pause here and invite some few reflections from the reference members who have been working tirelessly with participants in their given countries. For today, we only have 3 reference members who are going to give us reflections. In our graduation in October, we'll have 3 more from 3 countries. So I'm going to invite Dr. Tani Banda from Malawi to give reflections, how she supported the team in Malawi and how she's seeing things unfolding in that country. Over to you, Tiffany. Thank
you. Thank you very much, Dr. Charles Chikunda, and good morning to all of you. I'll start by recognizing the presence of Professor Ureta Rosenberg for the enormous role that you have played in ESD as a pioneer. And I would also like to recognize the Director of UNESCO, Professor Lydia Brito Arthur, the Rhodes team led by Professor Heila Lodz-Sisitka. I would also like to recognize the presence of Professor Shepard Urenji, who was the first mentor I encountered in ESD, and to all the graduating participants this morning and all present, I would say all protocols observed. It is an honor and a privilege for me to give a brief reflection on the Sustainability Starts with Teachers ESD program that has been running, of whom Malawi was a part of in the 2021 cohort. I'll begin by expressing what an opportunity it was for UNESCO, ROSA, and the participating, the partnering organizations to consider coming up with a program that is not only timely, but relevant and strategic in the targeting of its population. COVID-19 has taught us just how life can change so abruptly and how as human beings, we need to make adjustments in order to sustain ourselves. And the art of adjusting to a changing world is what ESD, the SST ESD has been about. It has been about constant reflection on what and how the current situations politically, economically, socially, culturally, and environmentally are, and as educators, finding ways in which we can make education relevant in addressing the issues that arise from these dimensions of our lives. The prospect of us as a continent and the world at large to meet the 17 SDGs that lie, and 17 SDGs lies to a great extent in how well we meet the SDG 4 target 7, which I agree with when Dr. Chikunda says it's one of the most important SDGs. And this is where I look back on the SST ESD program and applaud UNESCO, Rhodes University, and all the partners for both the online course and the Change Project Challenge that came with it. It was an opportunity that exposed us as educators to how and what education is and what it will look like moving forward. I would also like to commend all the participating teacher educators and TVET instructors that took part in the Malawi chapter. It has been a success, and it's been an interesting journey because I think it's the first cohort that was full-time, that did the program online. And with it came a number of hiccups that included being acquainted to the online mode and learning, which most of us were not familiar with. But with resilience, team support, and determination, we can happily look back on this day as a milestone to the achievement made and the impact for career moving on. I therefore would like to congratulate the group, the Malawi group, as well as all the other representing countries that are graduating today for the hard work and commitment. And lastly, I would like to say a special thanks to the organizers and the technical team for all the support that we got that has ended us up in this auspicious moment today. I would say, if I reflect on the journey that we had as Malawi, there are a lot of things that we have learned, a lot of new things that we have learned. And as I've always been saying and probably presenting in some of the presentations, is on how, as a curriculum, we are trying to move from concentrating on the traditional way of doing things, where it's just more of rote memory, to the transformative kind of learning. And I believe and I strongly feel that we have benefited a lot from the SST ESD program, because it has unveiled and uncovered some of these things and opened up our eyes to how, as educators, we can be agents of change and bring about the world that we expect to be. And so for this, I thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tiffany. Let me move on to the next presenter, Reflections from Zambia by Professor Shuma. Over to you, Professor.
Thank you, Charles. And good morning, distinguished colleagues and graduates. I won't dwell so much on the protocols, but I'd like to make a special mention of the UNESCO ROSA Director, Professor Brito. Welcome back to the region. We appreciate your words and the commitment which you are giving to us. I would like also to appreciate the support we are getting from Rhodes University, and a special mention of the Professor Rosenberg, the Dean, and of course our distinguished Professor Sitka. We really appreciate the support you are giving us to learn, to transform our lives. And I would like also to mention Dr. Orange at Sweden. We really envy the energy which you bring back to the region in order for us to succeed in these things here. And going back to this very august graduation ceremony, I would like to congratulate each and every one of you for your successful participation and completion of the online course, as well as for embarking on a transformative journey on the Change Project. And in particular, I would like to reflect on Zambia, where I have served as a reference group member. I never imagined that this day would come, because as you recall, when we were launching this SST program on 15 March 2020, that's when the statutory instruments on the COVID health guidelines were coming into effect. And we had to seek the clearance of the Ministry of Health in order for us to go ahead with the launch of the program in Zambia. And so I would like to congratulate the organizers for the creativity to adapt the course into an online delivery mode, which has been rightfully successful. And I would like to congratulate the participants from all the countries for being able to adapt to the online delivery mode and for learning new skills to be able to achieve what the course targets. And of course, I've mentioned that you embarked on change project initiatives which are transforming the learning environments in your school, in your institutions and communities. But this is only a start, as I would see it. It is important that we continue to innovate ways to scale up these projects, because as we see them, you are beginning to deal with important shifts and addressing gaps which we see in our education systems. For example, your projects are beginning to shift us from theoretical learning to action learning. And we are beginning to see important shifts from school-centric learning to community-connected learning. And the issue of localization of the curriculum is a big issue on the continent. And we are beginning to demonstrate that local context can be used as a source of learning and to support the localization of the curriculum. And I'm sure a lot of your projects have demonstrated how to work with local communities and your students and the staff to generate learning opportunities for sustainable development and for contributing to the SDG 4.7. So I'd like to congratulate you as you continue your journeys, as mentioned by Professor Brito, as you continue your journeys to work with communities, to share knowledge and impacts, and the transformation you are making to learning environments in teacher education. Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Professor Shumba. Let me now move on to Eswatini, where Cindy will give us some reflections. Over to you, Cindy.
Unfortunately, Charles, Cindy is in exams at the moment, she's told us.
Okay. Thanks, Preven, for that. I think let's move on. And as I said, in our next graduation, we'll have some reflections from the three remaining countries, South Africa, Lesotho, and Tanzania. So these are the certificates, colleagues, very nice, beautiful, as you can see, and they are a recognition of ESD competencies in ESD leadership and practice in teacher education. As Professor Shumba just said, we are seeing that shift from the old way of teaching, training teachers to a better and more sustainable way of teaching and training teachers. So let me now hand back to Professor Eurita to take over this session. Back to you, Eurita. Let me stop. Should I stop sharing? No.
No, Charles, if you can just keep them so that as Eurita reads them, she'll read them country by country, and we have them on the slide so that people can also see.
Correct. Correct. Thank you very much.
Just
Back to you, Eurita.
Thank you very much, Dr. Chikunda, or should I say, obrigada. Colleagues, I am so excited that we are joined by our Portuguese-speaking neighbors. By the October ceremony, I will be able to address you fluently in Portuguese, I hope.
That's a promise.
It's a warning. Colleagues, I'm very excited. In the next 30 minutes, we will be reading out the names of the recipients of the certificates of competence. We are awarding certificates of competence at the National Qualifications Framework Level 5. That's the level in South Africa. And it's the Certificate for Education for Sustainable Development, Leadership and Practice in Teacher Education. Teachers being broadly defined, as you will know. So we are very, very proud to partner with UNESCO in this initiative. And I'm sure that all the recipients are proud of receiving a certificate from Rhodes University and UNESCO. And of course, be very, very proud about your own achievement and thankful for the support of the entire community around you that supported you to be able to achieve this. We are starting with the graduates from 2020. Indeed, as Professor Shumba mentioned, you attended this course and achieved your competencies through a very, very difficult period when COVID-19 took us all by surprise. So a very special word of congratulations to you for persevering during this difficult time. And we start with Lesotho. And one thing I should mention is that our names are not necessarily in alphabetical order. So if you don't hear your name being read out where you think it should be read, just wait, it will come later. If we by some accident miss you out, you can just send Preven Chetty your details and we will make sure that your certificate also finds its way to you. You see the soft copy of the certificate there, and each person will also receive a hard copy of the certificate. From Lesotho, we congratulate Arone Camillus Koloti. Juelani Retabile Marunye, Likleko Neria Ntoi, Chepu Stephen Sikaleli. From South Africa, we congratulate Susan Brandrit, Previn Chetty, Gilbert Dolo, Delana Extian, Portia Kavai, Shanu Misser, Ben Souza. From Zambia, we congratulate Sarah Chama, Bernard Chileshi, Temwani Chirwa, Meyamui Chutu, Kanyantila George, Claire Hachiboya, Ada King Hamwinga, Musunke Kanyembu, Shimunza Felix Kapulisa, Chewe Brian Malama, Gangombe Maron, Agnes Florence Masanzi, Charity Nzila Chilufuya Mbalamweshi, Inonge Milupi, Miriam Sampa Monga, Obri Moono, Mushinga Kapalwa Moto, Ruth Mulenga, Heather Munanchonga, Francis Musonda, Hilda Mwinga Mwalie, Thomas Mwamba, Charles Ndakala, Fakia Muyanga Ngwenya, Leonard Nkata, Kaifas Nkuta, Annie Penda, Amos Sikayile, Alex Simpande. Then to the graduates of the 2020 group, the first group from 2020, because we are expecting more graduates by the time of October. Congratulations to the following recipients of the Certificate of Competence from Malawi: Charles Laini, Clifford Mawson Mwenelupembe, Colin Nepson Chilikutali, Fanny Njaidi, Isaac Lupia, Martin Chosadziwa Elifala, Mary Piri Vitsitsi, Mercy Chaonaine Chiwenga, Osman Jeffrey Matola, Ronica Tangui, Roland Shani, Tiffany Vicentia Banda, Tony Maguira, Veronica Mtawali, Wilson George Watson Gunde, David Maguza, Prince Gangachepe, Henry Katiko, Ignath Chiwere. From Tanzania, congratulations to Joshua Michael Kuboja, Joshua Okelo, Mawa Umari Mabunda, Clara Godfrey Lutego, Happiness Stephen Mina, Musa Msengi Gunda, Theodosia Bandia, Zablon Ngonja. Eswatini, Eswatini, Eswatini. Congratulations to Armstrong Siboniso Simelani, Bungani Boy Dlamini, Ricky Ntlantla Dlamini, Sikelela Moses Dlamini, Kunile Florence Gludlu, Irene Nompela Gludlu Maseko, Stanley Mbongeni Gama, Sipiwe Priscilla Gumedze, Sufisu Wesley Kumalu, Job Stephen Kiamogi, Sipilele Lorine Lukele, Tapsile Esther Madonzela, Hlopsile Nozizwe Mahachula, Rebecca Nomsa Magongo, Glory Pelisiwe Mamba Simelane, Sikelo Vincent Masugu, Vuyisile Lydia Matsebula, Tabu Elvis Ndluli, Ndombifuti Nompindu Mdzebele, Nelisiwe Nelly Ndlela, Dumile Glenrose Nhlengetwa, Kanyisile Brenda Nhlengetwa, Novuyo Nkomo, Monica Mantombi Nkwanyana, Dumsile Wenile Nyembe, Manguliso Jani Sambo, Tokozani Celiwe Shibakumalo, Bonsile Alekrina Dlamini, Jeremiah Shongwe, Busi Dumsile Shongwe, Busisiwe Similani, Bongiwe Vanessa Sitole, Nokwanda Mavis Jabulile Toto, Delisile Lindukuhle Zulu, Erin Musa Zungu, Goodness Chabalala, Alfred Tsikati, Untlantla Moletsani. Congratulations to all of you. You are an inspiration to us. You are inspiration to those who are hoping to complete. You are an inspiration to the new course participants who are joining us today. Make your change projects work for you. Make this certificate work for you. And we look forward to seeing what you are going to achieve following this wonderful occasion. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Yurita. And Charles, are we going to
Yes, reflections from
our
should we have the champagne first? Okay, yes,
Okay,
let's have
let's
that.
do that, and then we can have reflections from the participants.
Yes. Wow.
Fantastic. Congratulations to everybody.
Oh, congratulations.
Okay, Charles, so you can take the participants now and then we can finish off. Yeah. Thank
Yes,
you.
yes. Let's now. Thank you so much, the Rhodes
Just to
team.
remind everybody, sorry, Charles, that we're live streaming also. And I've just had a WhatsApp from a group in Malawi sitting at the Teachers College watching the graduation. So
Brilliant. Brilliant.
fantastic. Okay, over to you, Charles.
Thank you very much. And I want to thank Preven, William, the Rhodes Youngsters team, as I call it, for this brilliant video for this for the celebration. Well done. Thank you so much. We cannot do this nice without youngsters. Now, let me move on to invite reflections from our colleagues who went through the course. Let me start with Ruth Mulenga from Zambia to give us a 5-minute reflection. Ruth, over to you.
Thank you, Dr. Charles. It's great to, that feeling of graduating is really exciting. Okay, so sustainability starts with teacher. Indeed, it starts with us. The best thing that I have learned and we have learned is mind transformation itself. We've had that mind transformation among the core members, the learners, the community at large. The other thing was teamwork. We couldn't do it. You can't do it alone. We had everyone come on board, starting from the young ones to the older ones, the educated ones and those with place education, for us to have this project going. We also had that holistic education, which everyone had in mind, was to make sure that we had sustainable kind of education in everything that we want to see. Everyone had that vision. And through that, as a team, we made sure that everyone was carried along with the same vision we had. Going forward, we've seen that even our administration has also started looking into the curriculum development through the change project that we've come up with. And it's on the way. They are reviewing to make sure that the next curriculum that is going to be presented in the next few years is going to make sure they bring in the ESD in the same curriculum. People came to learn, and there was a lot of knowledge that everyone shared. We learned from different people to make sure that this project was going on. In particular, we had different kind of challenges that we faced. We had COVID, which was the major thing that gave us a problem. But as a team and as everyone wanted to see everything come in board, we saw that we made sure that we overcome the challenge that we had. We had issues of information, policies, but as we went through this, we made sure that we overcame these challenges. A lot of benefits from this project and this program that we learned was we came up with so many bee products such as wax, honey. It gave us also this network. We had this wider network, and we still have this wider network, which we keep on learning from each other. We have different people that are coming in with different information to make sure that we turn these projects into these excellency centers where we have research going through. We have people also coming in with different ideas on how we can expand and make sure that sustainability is all over and everyone is able to bring in that education and everyone is able to have that education. Going forward, we have also come to learn so much from this. It's not only about us, but it's also about carrying everyone along. We've made sure that everyone feels that they are part of that project and everyone is brought into this and everyone brings in ideas. We couldn't do it alone. We had the support from UNESCO. We had support from Professor Shumba. We had support from the college administration. and the COP members, the community, and everyone at large. We want to say thank you so much for this great opportunity that you gave us. And going forward, we are saying this is just the beginning of the journey to make sure that sustainability will be taught and will be practiced everywhere, starting from the least person in the community. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Ruth. I also want to add that this is the COP, the community of practice that is working with Professor Shumba to test the assessment of significant learning. Those who were in the room yesterday, you saw what Professor Shumba presented and shared. I think they have moved miles in terms of putting into practice that flower, the assessment flower we saw yesterday. Thank you so much, Ruth. Let me now move on to Swatini, Dr. Alfred Tsikati. If you give us your reflections, please.
Apologies, Charles, we're trying to promote Dr. Tsikati.
He's not in the room, or
he is on attendees. I'm trying.
Or do you want to promote him? Is it possible? Whilst you're doing that, can I move to South Africa so that we can come back to Dr. Tsikati?
Yes, please.
Is that fine? Yes,
yes please.
Thank
yes,
you very much. Let me move on. We want to promote Dr. Tsikati into the panelist mode so that he can speak. But now, meanwhile, let me allow Shanu to come in to give us reflections from South Africa. She's also working on testing the significant assessment of significant learning. And yesterday she gave us a brilliant presentation, which I think is going to be worked together with what Ruth is doing in Professor Shumba to give us that ADAC framework of assessment, that regional framework that we share with ministries. Ruth, Shanu, over to you.
Thank you, Charles. And I just want to acknowledge everyone in the room and say, yay, we did it.
Well done.
During very difficult times. So colleagues, I just want to say from a South African perspective and to reflect on what we've managed to do. And I think the SST program has provided a very important critical opportunity for us as a South African community of practice to reflect on the work that we're doing. And although on the screen one might see 7 people from South Africa actually graduating, I am in this platform not representing myself as an individual, but actually representing a community of practice, and which can be made up of more than 100 different partners and individuals in the program. So the SST has provided us that space and the opportunity as a Fundisa for Change network who has been involved in ESD in the country to look and reflect back onto a regional framework. And for us to start to think and reimagine ourselves in terms of the next phase of the work we are doing in South Africa and how we align more strongly in terms of the sustainability starts with teachers framework. And I think it's provided a very key opportunity for us to think back on, through this reflection process, and how do we create this learning platform within the country around ESD. So at a national level, this project that I have been involved in has been a national level change project that has been conceptualized in partnership with government institutions, government entities, NGO partners, and higher education institutions through what we call a national level professional learning community for ESD. And we are now evolving, I would consider it, into the program into becoming an ESD hub for teacher education. And at the start, when we conceptualized, the fact that we wanted to scale and to think about how we reach as many teachers in the country as possible. And we thought, okay, online platform is the way to go. It was very difficult to know where to start and how to get to where we are today. But I think, you know, with the community of practice around us and the support from all partners, we are getting there as South Africa, and we have initiated a national online platform where all the courses for ESD will be housed and be able to be accessed by all the universities and our teacher education institutions. And I think SST has provided us the opportunity to think more strategically in terms of how we are mobilizing resources and partnerships for impact. And, you know, and the way in which we are looking at this is and we've started the process with a consultative framework, developing an initial framework, then putting it out to partners around like a stakeholder engagement to help to conceptualize it more strongly, where it would then have generic, then coming into, you know, topic specific, ESD topic specific, like climate change, green economy, and then subject focused and phase focused with a change project attached to it. So I think in a South African context, the SST program has provided us to work in a very generative space where partners all are coming together and working for the common good in collaboration and partnerships in a co-engaged process. So I just want to acknowledge everyone that's part of this network, and that, you know, this has provided us the opportunity to strengthen the South African national network around ESD and teacher education. And our very strong research focus then, that which we are able to bring, we are able to make very concrete recommendations around policy. And I want to thank everyone on this platform for all their contributions towards us achieving where we are, and for the SST course in particular, and UNESCO and all partners that are involved here. And I think the challenge I put out to all our alumni is, let's keep the conversations going. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Shannon. We know the conversation will continue going, and we know for sure that with Fundisa for Change and SST, we are going to achieve a lot, not only in South Africa, but in the SADC region. Thank you very much for those words. Let me now go back to Alfred. Alfred, I think you're ready. And meanwhile, can I request Preven and to make sure that Julia Hayes is a panelist who can speak. Over to you, Alfred.
Thank you so much, Charles. To our distinguished guests, Professor Yoletta Rosenberg from Rhodes, our UNESCO Regional Office, Professor Lydia Raito, our team from Rhodes, led by Lord Stistka. Good morning. Thank you so much for this opportunity. We really appreciate to be part of this landmark program. Sustainable Sustainability Start with Teachers. This program comes at a time when the Eswatini, we have two important campaigns. We've got the Hloba Swaziland campaign, and also we've got the Phatha Sakho Nawe campaign. The Hloba Swaziland is the cleaning campaign whereby communities are encouraged to come together and collect litter so that you can keep the environment clean. And the Phatha Sakho, this is the campaign whereby the shops have stopped selling plastics. So we buy paper bags so that we can make sure that the environment is plastic free. And this aligns well with the Environmental Act of 2002 and guidelines and waste regulations of 2000. We really appreciate the approach that has been used to reach or to roll out the program, the online program, because it is flexible. And also that means you can do it at your own time and easily to access the materials. Of course, with that kind of appreciation, it has caused a bit of a challenge because we have seen some people were forced or have a bit pushed to finish at the end because now they're about to graduate. So we recommend that probably we can have timelines for each part. And also we want to add the support we enjoyed regionally from the team, facilitating team nationally, and of course institutionally. This week or bi-week Zoom meetings have really helped us to go a long way. It has created, of course, this community of practice. And this has helped us because this is where we have had to work with our administration. We've worked with our HODs, staff members, even those who have not been part of the program. We are able even to rope our students with our change project. And we further went on to work with community leaders, especially with cleaning campaigns and also getting some of the materials that we've been using, for instance, in developing some of the instructional materials in the institutions. We've worked with MPs, with municipal councillors, we've worked with Bukopo and so many others in the communities. And we are very excited how our project were linked to the wheel, ESD wheel. And we have seen this program helping us to collaborate. There has been collaboration not only within the institutions, but we have seen collaboration between institutions. And we have also been able to learn even from other countries because the work were being posted in the emails. And that has helped us to create synergies. The synergies that will see us going through and being more sustainable, is more of a self-support system. It is a self-support system because the waste materials, for instance, that we're using, we're getting from the community at times by the community members donating to us, or even companies for those who are in Mansini. And sometimes we're making these materials and also selling them at an affordable fee, which will make it more sustainable. This kind of collaboration has also helped to keep the project running in all the institutions, because at times some members have had to be transferred and now dropping out. But the program did not stop because someone is left, because we're working together. So this teamwork has led to a team player, and we have seen ourselves moving on. The program has been an eye-opener, we must say, because we've learned so much on how we can keep our environment sustainable. How can we make sure we push forward the agenda of educational for sustainable development? In fact, it has been so much transformative. I personally like and understand now well the word change project. It does not necessarily mean creating something very new, but changing what you are doing to make it more sustainable, which is something that we really enjoy. We will send this as a seed, a good seed for things to come in the future. We really appreciate even the support in terms of data that were shared to us to make sure that we continue the project. And we will urge to improve on the way probably these are distributed. The virtual program came at a time when there were challenges, of course, caused by COVID-19. But for us in Eswatini, there was a bit of a challenge now caused by the political unrest. And that has posed a challenge as we have had to re-strategize and change our plans, because our schools or school operations and institutional operations were erratic. They were closed, opened and closed. So sometimes it was difficult to reach the students. So we had to change some at a time the way we are approaching it. But nonetheless, we are very grateful that we were able to complete. It has taught us how to work with different personalities and people of different capabilities and paces in learning. It has created a network that is going to last or sort of forever, because now we can be working with the institution through whatever collaborative work that has been started. But this has posed a challenge to developing countries like Eswatini. There is a need for governments to invest more now into network, because we have seen that online is the way to go nowadays. I must say to us as graduates, this is the beginning, the graduation is the beginning of practical work that has to be done. We have agreed that we will scale up the projects more into communities. To those who are still coming, we want to urge them to make sure that they make use of each and every day, because if they do that, they will definitely complete. But if they wait until the end, that's where problems begin. With those few words, we want to appreciate once again the Rhodes and also UNESCO for the program. And we wish to thank all the graduates for the time that they've provided. Thank you so much to you all. Congratulations to the graduates. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Alfred, and congratulations. We hope to keep on working together, because I've seen your change project, and we'll be inviting you very soon as we start our webinars to motivate others who are still going through their change projects. So thank you very much for that, and thank you very much for that good change project and for working as a team in Eswatini. Now let me hand back the program to Hayla. Over to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Charles, and thank you to those participants who reflected on behalf of the other 103. I wish we could hear all of you, and so many important messages have come from what you have shared with us, and I want to just touch on a few of them. That the work that you are doing, and I'm quoting, is a good seed for things to come in future. This is very important. A change project doesn't end. It's a good seed for things to come in future. I also want to carry forward the message that comes from all of you, that working together we are stronger. And the forming of communities of practice, the building of communities of practice, the expanding of community of practice, the appreciation of working together in communities of practice also for me just stood out. And then the third thing I just wanted to pull through, which stood out for me as well, is just how amazing people in the SADC region are. We are able to adjust, we are able to adapt, and we are able to achieve despite many challenges. So thank you to all of you, because I think it just inspires all of the rest of us to continue with this work, building these good seeds of the things to come in future. I think I will keep that as a quote from this program. So thank you so much for that. I am now going to hand over to the UNESCO Rosa. I'm hoping Julia is with us, if she's been able to join.
Yes, I'm there.
Okay.
I'm under another name, unfortunately, but I'm here.
Yes. Okay, we can quickly change your name. If you just quickly open your microphone, Julia, then I can see which one is you. Yes,
I'm the first Lydia.
Can you just change to Julia's name? And then just a big welcome to Julia. Also, Julia, it's wonderful to have you with us. Julia is now the acting head of education in the UNESCO Rosa office, and of course has been very big and strong friend of this program all the way from the beginning. When she was in the Paris office, we were busy putting the proposal together with her, together with patients from the Rosa office. Patients and myself were working with Julia to get this proposal developed into CEDA and to release the resources for the program together with Shepherd and our other colleagues. So Julia, it's fantastic to have you here, and I'm going to hand over to you now just to say a word of thanks and also, of course, to congratulate all of our graduates. Thank you. Julia, you're muted. Can you just unmute?
Can you hear me now?
Yes,
Can you
thank
hear
you.
me? Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you for the warm welcome. Good morning, everybody, dear participants. I would, again, on behalf of the ROSA office, like to add my congratulations to all of you for completing the course and for working on your change projects under these extremely difficult circumstances. And I have to say that we are really and particularly proud of you. We admire you for your tendency, for your determination, and how you demonstrated this determination and tendency. And we are therefore also very convinced that your change projects will fly definitely high and far. And as our director has mentioned, and many of the change project testimonies we had already have shown also, this is the beginning of a lifetime journey that will lead you not only to transformation of your institutions and your community of practice and your community, but also to transformation of yourself. And that's exactly what the ESD for 2030 program is all about. This is what it wants to achieve. It wants to achieve individual transformation, structural transformation, and I think, and we could see that in that ceremony very well, also technological transformation that should lead to more just and sustainable societies. We are looking forward to continue supporting you in that journey. You have heard it already before. The road team will and has already started to conduct visits to projects in Eswatini, Tanzania, and Malawi. They will also continue to help you with all the online supports. Now all our tools are online and you continue using them. We have Wilma and Preven who have done so courageously over the last 2 years. And we at UNESCO, we will resume our monthly experience sharing webinars at the end of June to provide a platform for you to peer learn and to support you in implementing the change project. I would like to thank at this point once again the glorious and dedicated team at the Rhodes University, Hela, Priven, Wilma, Ben, and William. And I would also like to thank the team in our office, foremost for, of course, Charles, who has worked on the Sustainability Starts with Teacher program for the last 3.5 years already. Glenda Moyo, who has supported the program with its very complex administration, and then Patience also for her support and commitment to education for sustainable development. So I wish you all the best, and I wish your projects, change projects, to fly high and far. Thank you so very much.
Thank you so much, Julia. And another huge congratulations to everybody, and a big thank you to my dean, Jurita, and to Lydia, and to Charles, and to everybody. Zandi, who's been running the platform for us. Vilma, who's put so many hours into the online course. It's amazing. Thank you. Okay, Maleche, you can play us another one of those lovely celebration videos as we finish off. And put your sound up, colleague, enjoy it. And thank you. Thank you, everybody. Okay, Maleche, maybe you can play us out once more and then Zandi can close the platform.
Good.
Thank you, everybody. We'll slowly close the
Thank you
platform.
very much. Thank you very much.
Thank
And
you,
well done.
everybody. Wonderful celebration. Thank you, Hela. Thank
Thank
you,
you,
everyone.